you very much, Lisa. I really appreciate everyone coming out. I know we've got, Eric Kaufman of IBEX here who didn't sleep last night and he's here. I think Ravi of WePro, the same thing. Paul Doctolero had to come in from Tegaitai or something with bad weather and all that. So it's a touching thing to see so many of you here. And yes, I just thought I've been asked to just give a bit of background about the judging process and hopefully tell a little bit of the story. You've heard the data we get from PwC. It's a lot of information, and we're glad we have partners to go through all of that. But we're also so pleased to have our judges, and we have quite impressive, even intimidating for me to work with. I know. Ambassador Joey Cuscia is a very strong-willed character. Mary Faye Zamora, we had, which many of you know, she ran the Convergence operation here, the largest private sector employer in the nation at the time, also ran the Europe and Middle East operations of the company. Darlene Berberabe of Pagivic, others. And you can see why they're so senior, because they want answers, they need them right away, and very, very strong-willed ideas. So the interesting thing was we also have some of you know Oscar Sanyez, who ran the IBPAP organization here now with SMC, doing very senior stuff with them. Always been a judge for many years, former lifetime contributor winner. And I know he couldn't make the second session, so he was all panicked. Richard, I've never missed the second session. And so we met before to go through the list, and it was so interesting that the people he pulled out, so he would give me his ideas that I would then present on his behalf in front of the other judges. And it's a good way to do it, we found, because sometimes what happens with all people is, let's say you've got a really good position taken from someone, a key person like Mary Faye Zamora, say, who always makes a good argument, lots of supporting information. So it's easy then to say, well, gee, that really does good, and you're going to be guilty of groupthink. But this way we had outside information. And it was so interesting, too, that oftentimes the one that Oscar picked were the same ones that we came up with. So we figured we were on the right track in many of these things. So when you see the Circle of Excellence winners here, and the grand winners on the night, I just feel, comparing to other years, always very good years, but this year it's a bit of a wow thing we all felt. So it's very exciting. The one thing to tell about the Circle of Excellence, we used to call them finalists, but there's so many of them where some of the categories were getting 30, 40 people and whittling that down to 6 or 8 or so. So these really are amazing companies. So the Circle of Excellence awarding designation seems to make a lot more sense these days. So it's really been something for us to watch it emerge along with the incredible dynamism of the Philippine economy. So I don't know, it was nice to hear. I was just talking to Ravi, WePro, for instance, and I've heard this before, but I'm surprised that people across Southeast Asia it's becoming an event that people want to see. And so for all of us, we want to really highlight the nation as a real, not just emerging, but something that is a real powerhouse of the region. And, there's some concerns right now whether the economy can continue to grow as it has been. And I think it can, but it won't be as easy as it has in the past. We all got to work together and support each other and so forth. So I'm also we choose each year, the judges choose a lifetime contributor awardee, and we've had some fantastic people. Last year, you may recall, we had Tessie C. of the many companies, but of the SM Group and all of the related organizations, as well as the amazing former head of the central bank, Tatanko as the lifetime contributor. So they were really a high milestone. So this year we talked a lot, and there was a lot of different choices we had. And the ones we came, well, I won't go through all the names we went through, but the one we finally came up with, I hope you'll be pleased. We are very pleased. He's eager to come to the event and really wants to, show himself. But former President Fidel Ramos will be this year's lifetime contributor. And if you remember, for others who weren't here during the time, I know most Filipinos know about this guy because he handled the country at a key time just after Corazon Aquino's time. He had to deal with communist insurgencies, separatist movements in the South. He got the economy moving again after a few too many years of stagnation, where it became known as a Tiger of Asia again. So it was a real key time that he maneuvered, and so we're so pleased we're going to have him on stage and to receive this award. So we're really so glad. But today we're going to have some very exciting companies, and I hope we can all meet as many as we can, and I'll bring you back to Isalita. And thank you everyone for coming. Really, really nice to have everyone.
Again, Richard Mills, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much, Richard.